Hi guys! So this is, I don't know, I think the 20th time I tried to film this video. I'm so sorry if I look tired, but the content I'm trying to publish is so important that you'll do with me tired. And I just ate pasta. Okay, you see how honest I am when I check if I have something in my teeth. Okay, seriously. Okay, so the title of this video will probably reviewing Jaclyn Hill drama by an ex-lab technician. So this is what I wanted to create. So be aware that at 10 minutes 30 my phone will shut down because the memory will be full. So I guess that the best idea would be to be part 1 and part 2 if all the information is not completed. I know there's something called editing, but I don't know how to do this. So we'll do that. Okay. So I did take notes on what I wanted to talk about. But the first thing I really want to address is what have I studied in school, if I do have a degree, whatever. So I did study biotechnology for 3 years. My third year I had to stop for health issues, so technically I would have 1 year, well, because I stopped my semester I have to do again this year, so I would have 2 years left instead of 1 before getting my biotechnology lab technician degree. So this is what I was studying in college. I also worked in lab. I worked in the in the food industry. I worked in the oh my god, I cannot talk. In the microbiology department. And I also worked in another company for QC, QA, and logistics. So I am really familiar with SOP, the GMP, the GFP, lab results, like all this form and jazz. I'm really familiar with this, so this is why I feel confident enough to do this video. And also, I had many friends working labs that related to health, research, cosmetics, not only food. So I'm qualified enough, I think, to answer those questions. So I cannot show you off my degree and say, oh yeah, I'm a biotechnology graduated, but we'll do what we have. So I made some notes on the claims she did. Like she explained like blood dots, texture grittiness, white fuzzies. She explained all of those. And she also proved you that her factory is slash lab. I'll explain you the difference between both, which is a bit confusing. She does not explain it to you. Right now, actually, well, let's start with this. Okay, so a good question to ask is like, okay, what is the difference between just the factory? What is the quality checking? What is the R&D? What is the lab? So the question, so R&D is where the idea is getting created. So you have like the skeleton of the body made, if we want to say that this way. By the way, my first language is French, so if I have wrong terms, I will link them down below. So you have your R&D, you have your idea, and it does not come in a cute packaging. It usually comes in plastic weird pots and jars or whatever plastic components. So is the lab related to the factory? No, not necessary. In the lab where I was working, we were related to a factory, but I cannot provide you information like if they were doing testing in another lab, like it also can happen. We were receiving samples from different area in Canada. So, oh no, I got another phone call. No, I don't accept phone calls. I have to focus on this video. It's really important for me to make this. I really want to provide you safe answers. And yeah, so sorry. Okay, I got distracted. And I'm really tired also, but it is really, really important. I release it as soon as possible. So as I mentioned, oh no, my boyfriend is calling me. I'm sorry, I just swiped it in front of camera. Okay, back to what I'm saying. So the factory and the lab are not always related. Sometimes, as I mentioned, they're different. Sometimes they're the same company. It really depends. Like you cannot say, oh, but two brands have the same lab. It is scandalous. No, it's really common. Like when you have the equipment, the ingredients, you do pretty much cosmetics for many brands, and it's the same thing for testing. Like a lab can test many brands and it will still be accurate. So don't play on that. Don't worry, it is completely normal. It's something I standard pretty much. So also, what are those papers she has provided you? She showed you the certificate. What are those? Okay, so the good manufacturing practices are related to manufacturing, right? But what she didn't show you are the good laboratory practices. How rude. So these are related to laboratory, and this is what you guys are requesting. So you're like, okay, but like, is it mold free? Is it bacteria free? Is it expired? This is the lab's job to show you, not to show you results, to give the results to the client, which in this case is Jaclyn Hill Cosmetics. So she has the decision to show you or to show you not those information. However, the accusations for expiring product and mold and bacteria and sharp objects in the lipstick, name few of them, like there are a lot of allegation. I would share those results as fast as I can. It's not even a question. Like it's a hard choice, but I mean, choose wisely. So, so what does it mean? It is FDA approved. It is mean you follow the FDA rules for a clean manufacturer, safety rules, sanitary rules, whatever. So, what does it mean for her product? It means absolutely nothing. You can be in Breaking Bad and doing meth in a lab, and it would still be like your lab can be FDA approved even if your product is illegal or contaminated. It means absolutely nothing. And if you may ask, okay, but how can a product get contaminated if all the lab is FDA approved or the manufacturing building is FDA approved? Well, you get many ingredients from many places. So if she got her shea butter or I don't know which butter, like she doesn't provide her source, and no brand really does. Fragrance, same thing. There's many things that can be from different sources, and it can be contaminated. I have seen this once where we were testing a sample for bacteria just in the protocol it was mentioning, but we're like, oh no, we cannot find this in the protocol. And actually, it was one of the ingredient among that thick of a list that was contaminated, and so the testing for that specific ingredient came out positive. But you know, when you test like a whole product, how can you well, you can track, but it's quite difficult. So your question is it because it is GMP or FDA approved? Doesn't mean the product cannot be expired or contaminated? The answer is no. Your product can be contaminated. This is why you have to prove it in labs. This is so I don't understand how the factory and show lab results. Like maybe she didn't provide the information to say, okay, listen, those are different facilities or different departments, but they show you the results. So maybe this is what happened, but usually it's weird. Like you do some testing like during the how's it called? Sorry, the production. Production. I'm tired. So during the production, it is common to do testing like, okay, is the color right, is the order right? Like I understand that manufacturing departments or buildings do testing. However, the certificate are by laboratory, so it's not because the manufacturing does something that the lab will do too. It really depends. And especially like in labs, you have different departments. So for example, the microbiology department where I worked do not have the same protocols as chemistry lab, which is okay. There's no problem there. So does the lab need to respect the good manufacturing practice? good laboratory practice? Yes, it does. Well, the same as the manufacturing practices, they should be respected, of course, FDA approved. But the laboratory are approved separately. Something really important there. So the lab tests what you want to know. So you cannot just say not concerned, not concerned, standard approved, severed achieved in your report. Like I know they wrote a tiny text, but it means nothing. Like what you guys want to know, like for the allegation is okay. We think your product might be contaminated by mold. What do we do? Part 2 ahead.